Picture the kind of threat reshaping modern air defense. Slow, prop-driven, one-way drones, arriving not alone, but in swarms. They come low, they come at night, and they keep coming. And with every incoming wave, defenders face the same brutal calculation. How do you stop a mass attack without burning through expensive missiles faster than you can replace them? Now imagine an interceptor designed to fix that equation. Not a supersonic jet screaming past its target. Not a ground battery wasting million-dollar missiles on low-cost drones. But something different, something persistent. A rugged turboprop that can loiter for hours, track small targets in the dark, and engage them with weapons that actually make economic sense. That aircraft is the Embraer A-29 Super Tucano. After more than 2 decades in service, it's now being reshaped for a very modern mission: hunting drones. The Super Tucano story begins with practicality. Developed by Embraer from the EMB-312 Tucano trainer lineage, it wasn't built for high-end air wars. It was designed for the conflicts most nations actually fight: counterinsurgency, border patrol, armed reconnaissance, and close air support. First flown in 1999 and entering service in the early 2000s, the aircraft has since spread across more than a dozen air forces. Over time, it has accumulated tens of thousands of operational and combat flight hours. But what sets the A-29 apart from typical trainer with weapons concepts is simple. It was built from the start as a true combat aircraft. It can operate from short, rough airstrips. It requires relatively minimal maintenance. And most importantly, it can keep flying night after night. That last point matters more than ever. Because in the drone era, victory doesn't come from a single intercept. It comes from persistence. On paper, the A-29 specifications might not seem extraordinary, but together, they tell a very different story. Powered by a Pratt & Whitney Canada PT6A 68C engine producing around 1,600 shaft horsepower, the aircraft reaches speeds of roughly 320 knots, with a cruising speed near 280 knots. It can climb to around 35,000 feet and sustain over 3 hours of endurance on internal fuel alone, extending to more than 5 hours with external tanks and sensors. That endurance transforms it into something critical: an airborne patrol platform. And increasingly, counter-drone defense is exactly that, an air patrol problem. Where the Super Tucano becomes truly relevant is in its weapons. It carries 2 internal 12.7mm machine guns, freeing up all 5 external hardpoints for additional payloads. These can include general-purpose bombs, precision-guided munitions like the GBU-12, and 70mm rocket pods. But one capability stands out: laser-guided 70mm rockets. Systems like the APKWS II transform standard Hydra rockets into precision weapons, often described as mini-missiles. They're accurate, they're effective, and crucially, they're far cheaper than traditional air-to-air missiles. That's the key advantage. Because in drone warfare, cost matters just as much as capability. The A-29 sensor suite completes the picture. Equipped with electro-optical and infrared systems, along with a laser designator, it can detect and track targets even in complete darkness. Its cockpit features a modern glass layout with hands-on controls, reducing pilot workload during complex missions. Add in survivability features, armored cockpit, self-sealing fuel tanks, and defensive countermeasures, and you get an aircraft built not for prestige, but for staying in the fight. So why is it suddenly being promoted as a drone hunter? Because the nature of air defense has changed. Take drones like the Shahed 136. They're slow, often flying around 180 km per hour, and designed to be launched in large numbers. If defenders respond with high-end fighters or expensive missiles, the attacker wins through attrition. The Super Tucano offers a different approach. Loiter where threats are expected. Receive targeting data from ground-based sensors. Move into position. And engage using guns or low-cost precision weapons. In this model, the A-29 becomes the last-mile interceptor in a larger defense network. Recent upgrades push this concept even further. Modern counter-UAS strategies rely heavily on networking and queuing. Instead of searching blindly, Aircraft like the A-29 receive real-time tracking data from radar and detection systems, guiding them directly to the target area. Once there, onboard sensors confirm the target, and the aircraft executes the intercept. This dramatically reduces reaction time and increases efficiency. There's also a new layer being added: AI-assisted decision-making. In 2026, Embraer announced integration efforts with AI systems like Gunslinger, designed to help crews process multiple targets quickly during saturation attacks. The goal isn't autonomy, it's speed, faster identification, faster prioritization, faster engagement. Because in drone warfare, seconds matter. And perhaps the most overlooked factor is cost. Operating a Super Tucano can cost roughly $1,500 per flight hour or less, a fraction of what it takes to fly a modern jet fighter. That changes everything. Because defeating drone swarms isn't just about shooting them down, it's about being able to keep doing it repeatedly without going broke. Of course, the A-29 isn't a silver bullet. It cannot replace layered air defense systems. It isn't designed to operate in heavily contested airspace dominated by advanced surface-to-air missiles. But in permissive environments, where it can safely patrol, its strengths align almost perfectly with the drone threat. Endurance, affordability, precision, sustainability. Its combat record reinforces that credibility. From counterinsurgency missions in Colombia to combat operations in Afghanistan and Nigeria, the Super Tucano has proven its ability to deliver precise, sustained air power without the logistical burden of high-performance jets. Different wars, yes, but the same core strengths. Competitors exist, like the Beechcraft At-6 Wolverine and other armed trainer platforms. But the A-29's advantage lies in its maturity, a proven design, integrated weapons, and a global operational track record. Now, with added networking, upgraded avionics, and counter-drone optimization, it's evolving into something new. Because the bigger story here isn't just about one aircraft. It's about how warfare is changing. Modern no longer always means faster or stealthier. Sometimes, modern means smarter, cheaper, and sustainable. A stable platform, a reliable sensor, a data link, and a precision weapon you can afford to use again, and again, and again.